Hey everybody, my name is Patient Carr. Have you ever wanted to be a cop? Well, today we're going to be learning how to be a cop. We have one of our youth that's named Jalen Jackson. He's promoted as being a cop right now, and he's going to be interviewed by Jeremiah Garrett. I hope you enjoy and have a blessed day. Thank you.
Hello everybody, my name is Jeremiah Garrett, and today we're going to be interviewing Officer Jackson. We're going to give you time to introduce yourself.
I'm Officer Jackson from Anderson Police Department. I'm 21 years old, just started the force probably like 8 months ago. It's been going pretty good. So.
How work been so far?
How's work been? Work's been great, man. I mean, it hasn't been too bad. You know, before I got this job, I used to work at a grocery store. You know, many people know me from Publix. And basically, you know, I needed something a little bit more challenging, you know. So when I got this job as a police officer, you know, every day is challenging. You know, every day I end up coming across something that's different, you know. It keeps me on my toes. So with that being said, you know, it's been a lot of fun for me because I like making those split-second decisions and that type of stuff.
What is the most, worst thing about your job, what you have to do?
The worst thing, man, honestly, probably the paperwork. You know, nobody ever want to talk about the paperwork, but it's probably the paperwork because when you want to get in fun, they like to say, you know, more fun, more paperwork. So, you know, especially when you're a young officer, you like to get into all this stuff, and that all comes with paperwork. So, you know, you got to be, you know, really knowledgeable and wise in your paperwork. Make sure you have all your ducks in a row.
Do you have to work every day of the week, or is it?
Every department is different. With us, we have like a split shift. So you know, we only 1 week we'll work 2 days, the next week we'll work 5 days, and it'll flip over left and right, pretty much. We're 12-hour shifts, you know. So it seems like it's a lot, but it really ain't a lot. You just gotta know how to manage your sleep schedule and stay on top of everything.
I know a lot of people in the world was trying to become a cop. What is some advice to becoming a cop?
So pretty much, when it comes to becoming a cop, and you know you're interested in pursuing that field, you know, first off you gotta go look at, you know, different departments because you gotta know where you want to go. Once you do that, you know, you ask them for a ride along so you can kind of see what, you know, the work is like, so you get a first-hand experience. And once you're interested in that, and you know that goes well, then when you figure out which department you want to go to, you got to participate in PT tests. The PT test is a half-mile run, or it's a 1.5 mile run. You got to finish in around 12. It's good to finish in 12 minutes, but the max is 15 minutes. Then you have to do, I believe it's like 25 push-ups in this 60 minutes or 60 seconds, my bad. Then you gotta do 22 sit-ups in 60 seconds. And then there's an obstacle course where you gotta push a police car a certain amount of feet. After that, you gotta run to a fence. You gotta jump over the fence. The fence is around 5 feet, not too big. And after that, you go to this wall and there's a window. You gotta be able to step through the window. And then after that, there's a balance beam. You gotta walk across the balance beam. Can't fall off, can't go left or right. You gotta go straight through it. Then after that, you'll run to this dummy. The dummy weighs probably around a normal human. So it's probably like a 150, and you gotta carry it a certain number of feet. And after you do that, you gotta finish that in probably I think it's like a minute 30. I'm not sure. It's been a while since I've taken the test. So once you do all that, then if you pass, then they put your name down. Then you have a civil service exam you have to take. The civil service exam would bring you through a bunch of scenarios, a bunch of situations. You gotta, what would you do in this situation? What would you do if this happened? Because they kind of want to see is your mind right for the job. Because a lot of people can be fit, and they can be active, but then once it comes to the job, they're making the wrong decisions. And that's when we start getting a bunch of other stuff, and people don't want those issues. So once they figure out that you can actually make the decision that's needed to do the job, then they'll do your background information. They'll ask you, about people that you the trust. You have to go get, I believe they call it, it's been a while, but people that, they can say something good about you. So basically, and they'll go talk to those people. They won't even let you know. They'll go talk to your teachers. They'll go talk to, your coaches, your parents, your friends, your best buddies, because they want to see, what are you like, what all have you done, on your background application, you'll put like, they'll ask you, have you ever been in any trouble with the law or anything like that? Because they want to really get to know you, because if there's certain stuff that if you have on your record, you can't do the job. But if you have like a nice, good, clean record, then it kind of boosts you up amongst everybody else. So once they do all that and they really like you, then they sign you up for an interview. And then the interview, you'll come down to the room. There'll be a bunch of big name people all around the table, and they're gonna put you right across from the chief. And then they're gonna ask you a bunch of questions about your background application. You see if you're trustworthy and all that good stuff. And then if they really like you, then you'll do a polygraph exam where they see if you're trustworthy as well. You just don't lie. Just tell the truth, be honest, and then all that good stuff. You'll do a physical, all these little other tests. But once they figure out that they like you, then they'll bring you on in. You'll swear in. You'll get your badge and all that. And then after that, you'll go to the academy. Academy is about 13 weeks. And it's full of, you wake up early in the morning around 5, 6 o'clock. You'll do calisthenics, or you'll go run. You'll start out with easy, a 1.5 mile run like you did in the PT test. And they'll go all the way up to like 3.5 miles, They're basically making sure that you stay fit, that you can do the job and stay healthy. But once all that PT is over with and you're done with the academy, it's up to you to stay fit, Can't nobody force you to stay fit, but, if you want to stay ahead of the curve and not be a liability, it's good to stay fit. And then you'll take a bunch of tests while you're at the academy, going on different, situations, different topics, because you never know what type of field you're going to be in. Once you get into the department that you want to be in, they have different special operations, and you got to keep that in mind, what you like, all that good stuff. Then there's this big legal exam, because you got to know the law. You got to know the law. And this test is probably around maybe 100, maybe more questions. And basically it goes around all the laws of Alabama, all the Alabama law. And basically we spent nights and nights and nights studying this big giant book that they give us, has all the laws studied nightly. And I don't know however old you might be, but if ain't nobody ever told you now, note cards, flashcards, it's gonna be your best friend when it comes to any of those big tests. When they're structured like that, because it's all about memory. So you're seeing it over and over and over and over again. It gets stuck in your memory. So when it comes to test time and you see it, you already know it. And then once you pass the legals, we have a firearms week, because you gotta be able to shoot as well. And basically we'll do a qual, and you'll get to shoot from different ranges with your handgun. and you have to pass with like a 70 or above. And then if you're really good and you get over 90 and above, you start getting them little awards and stuff like that. You know, most departments like for you to shoot over 90 because that means you're very efficient with your weapon. You know, because the thing is, when you get in high stress situations, if you shoot a 70 on the qual, it's going to lower down to like a 50 because your heart's going to be racing a little bit heavier. So if you shoot in the 90s, then when your heart starts racing, then you're shooting about like a 70 or an 80. You know, the decreased amount don't go as bad as if you were a 70 and now you just start missing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So once you finish all that and you pass that, then there's like a bunch of little more tests you have to take and all that good stuff. And once you pass the academy, you know, you get your APO certification, and then you can basically work anywhere you want to. And then you hit the road. Once you hit the road, you have to go through an FTO period where you get with a senior officer. And once you get with a senior officer, he's going to teach you everything about how to actually like legitimately be a cop in that city, because a lot of the departments are different. So what they teach you in the academy is more of like the basics, like just like little fundamentals and stuff like that. But you know, it's nothing compares to actual on-the-job training. You know, actually seeing how they go about traffic stops, how to go about building clearing, how to go about, you know, different scenarios like that. And then you'll do that for around another 6 to 13 weeks. And once you finish that, you on your own, Doc. Make your own decisions.
Man, that's awful. I'll never want to be a cop when I grow up. What's the coolest thing you saw on your job so far?
The coolest thing I've saw, or the coolest thing I've seen, you know, it depends on what you see cool, because you know we see a lot of more bad stuff than we see cool stuff. Now I've been in a lot of cool situations, you know, the Walmart downtown. I got in a foot chase with some guy about probably my sixth weekend. He saw me. He had just got through shoplifting, and he was like, "That's the guy." And when we went to approach him, he took off running. And as soon as he took off, I was already on him. He wasn't getting too far. And we ended up catching him, and we ended up arresting him and all that good stuff. You know, I get to see, you know, drugs every now and then. You'd be surprised how many drugs are out there. You know, stay away from drugs, kids. Stay away from drugs. I've seen, you know, dead bodies, you know, all that stuff. You know, I've had to, you know, let people know. Some people didn't make it. You know, some people made it. You know, I've been in situations where, you know, we've had to give CPR. I've been in situations where, you know, somebody just got through stealing the car. And I'm having to use my mind and, you know, investigate, you know, see where he's going. And I've actually found the car, you know, stuff like that. You know, I've been in situations where, you know, if I wasn't vigilant, I wasn't looking, you know, that could have been my last shift, you know. So the job's a lot, you know, but it's a job where you have to be chosen for. You know, a lot of people, you know, they like to go out and jump up and do things, but this is a job that, like, I have to say it because my path to it, you know, God kind of pretty much called me to it. You know, I wanted to go do so much other stuff before I actually picked to be a cop. I wanted to be a nurse, you know, and I was ripping and running, doing all that good stuff, taking all them classes for nothing when I should have prayed and listened to God. And one night I was like, you know, Lord, what is it that you want me to do? You know, lead me. And he spoke to me. He told me to be the example. And after that, all the stuff about law enforcement just came to me, and I flowed right in easy. And ever since I've been on the job, you know, it hasn't been stressful because, you know, God put me there. You know, if God put you somewhere, you know, he got you. He got your back. So you ain't got nothing to worry about. Just do the job he called you to do. Be that example. You know, he'll carry you along the way.
What kind of advice do you have for kids out there who's watching this?
Advice: listen to your parents. You know, listen to your parents. You know, don't think you know it all. You know, pretty much. You know, don't get in situations. You should ask yourself when you get in different situations. Would my parents want me to be here? You know, if I was here, you know, what are the worst things that can happen while I'm in this situation? And if those things are worse and they're bad, and one of those scenarios in your mind is of you not leaving, then you need to get out of there. You know, there's certain situations as young people, like I've been in, that, yeah, I shouldn't have been there, because when I became a cop, I've learned how things go bad fast. It don't take long for things to go bad. So it's better to be safe than sorry, because people out here, you know, they like to take chances with life, and that's not how you're supposed to live your life. You know, you got a lot of people tied into you, a lot of people that are rooting for you, a lot of people that are supporting you. Don't let them down for one bad decision. Don't let them down, you know. Keep your head high, you know. Just know you are somebody, you know. People love you, and just, you know, do the right thing. At the end of the day, if you do the right thing, God will take care of you.
Well, I guess that's it for today. We're glad that we have you, Officer Jackson, today. Well, until next time, God bless.